would you do if you only had 30 minutes to evacuate from your home? Do you have a plan in place to be able to do that quickly, safely, and efficiently? Have you worked that plan out with your family? You know, as preppers, we spend a lot of time thinking about bugging in. That's what most of our plans go toward, or at least most of us anyway, on bugging in. We stockpile food storage. We put back water filters. We put back firearms and ammunition to protect our property. We work on our security. We work on our self-reliance on our property, like put it in gardens and things like that. However, we seldom think about actually evacuating. We'll talk about bugging out, but usually when preppers talk about bugging out, they're talking about grabbing a bug out bag and heading to the woods to live. And that's not really a good plan in my opinion, but off to bug in. However, sometimes there's no other alternative but to actually evacuate or bug out from your property. Take, for example, there could be a mandatory bug out order from your local government or from FEMA because something like, say, a train derailed. We had this happen about 2 years ago in Palestine, Ohio, I think that it was. And you remember all the video of that where all the toxic chemicals had spilled out and they lit that on fire. All that smoke was in the air. People were breathing that in, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of issues later on. Probably having issues now, we just haven't heard about it. So they would have been better off to evacuate it. If they had a plan to do that, as soon as they knew what was going on and figured out something was wrong, got an alert, they could have got their stuff together and gotten out as quickly as possible, went somewhere else to minimize, the risk to their health and things like that. Another example would be forest fires, and this happens all the time. It could be, a major forest fire heading towards your home, and it's one that you can't fight yourself with your watering hose, and you're better off to evacuate because that is coming, it's huge, and your house is going to burn down. And that's what we have insurance for. So you're better off, instead of trying to stay and fight that with your watering hose, trying to rake the leaves back and things like that, to actually evacuate. You can do things before this happens, like cutting back, the trees and things that might catch on fire, keeping the ground, the leaves and stuff all raked back and things like that far away from your property. That way it has less danger of actually catching on fire. Things like having a tin roof is great. You can do a lot of things to protect your home, but sometimes you have no other choice but to actually bug out or evacuate, because it will save your life and save the life of your family. You want to be stubborn, you want to stay to protect your property because you paid for it, it's yours. However, you're putting yourself in danger and you're putting your family in danger, your kids in danger by doing that in some cases. And if you can do it safely, then by all means use your own judgment and stay and protect your property. However, if you can't do that safely, you need to have a plan to, evacuate. And guys, another example would be something like if a huge armed gang is coming to your property to take what you have, and you and your family can't resist that many people that's that well armed, you may have to bug out. I know it definitely. If you don't want to do, you want to stay and fight, but you might be able to bug out or evacuate and circle back around and regroup and actually be able to take what you had back from the aggressors, maybe. But if you stayed, their superior numbers, their superior weapons, they no doubt could kill you, kill your family, kill you, rape your wife, rape your daughter, and things like that. So you're safer, and you know it. Down here you can feel it. You might be safer to bug out and try to come back, try to take your property back, maybe at some point. If you have a place you could bug out from your home on a mountaintop, for example, with a sniper rifle, you could do that. You could booby trap your home if you know they're coming. You could put special ingredients in the food to fight back even when you're not there. Lots of things can be done, but you have to think about your safety first. What's the safest thing to do for you and your family? And if that is evacuating, then you need to be prepared to do that. And you also need to work out the exact situations that will necessitate you actually evacuating from your home. Make a list. If this happens, we will evacuate. You may have 3 or 4 things on that list. You may have more depending on where you are and the situation that you could find yourself involved in where you're at. But you need to make a list. If this happens, we will evacuate. Go over this list with your husband, with your wife, with your kids, and know if any of these happen, we're going to put this evacuation plan in action, and we're going to evacuate. That's one of the first parts of communicating with your family and getting this right. You need to know when to evacuate, because if you don't know the exact when, the exact event that would trigger your evacuation, you'll be thinking about it. You will, should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? If you already have this worked out, you know when this happens, go. That way there's no delay in trying to figure things out. You know it, and you're ready to go, and it'll save a lot of time, and it could save your life. You need to have a communication plan, with your family. Your kids need to know your phone number, your cell phone numbers. Your kids and everyone in your group, in your family, needs to have predetermined meeting places. The meeting place should be, away from your home, and if the kids are at school, they should know what to do in that situation, where to go to meet you at. Stay at the school is more than likely the best situation to be in, but sometimes you need to have a backup plan for that also. So you need to know where to go to. The kids need to know where to go, where to meet you at. It could be, half a mile from your home to meet up. Like if something happens at night and you have to get out quickly, meet up at this location. Different situations, different times of day will call for, different solutions. But try to work out all the what ifs and all the solutions and have this worked out with your family. Communicate with your family to know what to do, when to do it, where to meet at in this situation. Have it worked out, go through it, plan it, rehearse it. If you need to evacuate in the middle of the night, and you might, rehearse that. Let your family know that a drill is coming, that your kids know a drill is coming. That way they won't get, too afraid, but you don't want to know exactly the time. And then you want to spring that very quickly. Get your kids out of the bed, get your wife out of the bed, your husband, get everything ready, gather everything up, gather your kits up, and put that in your vehicles and take off. You need to have your kits already ready to go. Think, what do I need on this bug out or in this evacuation? And it will depend again on many different things, like where you are, your skill levels, the time of year, where you're going to bug out to. If you're going to get in your vehicle and you're going to bug out to your parents' house in the next state, for example, or the next county, you won't need, as much stuff as you would if you're going to bug out and stay in a tent for a couple of weeks in the forest, for example. It just depends. There's lots of things you need to work out, but it will be specific to you and your situation. But every family member needs to know your phone numbers, different bug out, different locations to meet up. They need to know your bug out plans, your bug out locations. They need to know what they need to grab when this happens to load it up in the vehicle to take off. You need to have alternative routes to get to different places because your roads could be blocked. If it's a huge forest fire and you're leaving because of that, your roads could be blocked. If it was like we talked about a minute ago in that train derailment, you could have emergency responders blocking the roads. You might need to have a different way to get out. Look at maps and know the roads in your area. Know alternative ways to get from point A to point B. The key to this effective evacuation plan is pre-planning. You want to have everything, all that you're going to need, that you're going to take with you, ready to go. And I like to have these totes, these plastic totes with tight-fitting lids with the snaps on top, not just the one that snaps like this. You want to have the handles that snap on the top, and put what you need in those and be able to grab those, put those in your trunk of your vehicle and things, your truck or whatever, your van or whatever you're going to evacuate with. Grab that, load that up, and be able to take off. And guys, something else to think about is your pets. If you have dogs, cats, can you gather those up quickly and put those in the vehicle? Can you secure those inside your vehicle? Do you have enough room for those in your vehicle? There's all kinds of things to think about that it gets complicated and difficult to think about evacuating very, very quickly, but it's extremely important because you might have to. If you have a farm, your farm animals, you can't evacuate your farm animals more than likely, at least not in 30 minutes. You could, theoretically, if you had a truck and you had a hauler to load your cattle up and your horses up and your chickens up in the back of that and take off, it's going to take a lot of time, and you might not have that time, and your family is more important. So you may have to leave those animals behind. I know it sounds horrible, but you may have to for your own safety. Sometimes you have to make difficult, hard decisions. And like I said, you need to know exactly, if this is happening, I'm going to bug out. We're going to go here. We're going to meet up here. The bug out location is here. You might need to have several different bug out locations picked out, and your family should know each, depending on the situation. It's complicated because so many things can happen. There's so many what ifs, and there's so many individual needs and circumstances that for me to stand here and tell you to do this is almost impossible, because I don't know your situation. I don't know where you are. If I went through every situation, every possibility, and I still wouldn't be able to get it right for you, because everyone's going to be different. But it would take all day long to even cover some of the situations. But you need to figure out your situation, because your plan for you and your family is going to be different. But you definitely need to know when to bug out, when to evacuate, what situations you will evacuate under. You need to have your stuff ready to get out as quickly as possible. Communication plan, your family needs to know where to meet you at. You need to know your phone numbers and things like that. You need to also have all of your important papers in a fireproof safe, for example, like your deeds, your insurance papers, like your home insurance, because if your house burns down, you need insurance to be able to at least hopefully build that back with the money you get from the insurance. You need to have car titles, birth certificates, degrees and things like that in a fireproof container, a fireproof safe, I mean, so you'll be able to grab that and take that out very quickly. Everything needs to be ready to go. Grab, put in the vehicle, get in the vehicle, take off. And if this road is blocked, go this way. If it's blocked that way, go this way. Figure out several ways to get from point A, which is your home that you're evacuating from, to point B, which is your bug out or evacuation location. But guys, I hope this helps. I know it's a lot to think about, a lot of pre-planning, but this pre-planning is extremely important, and it could definitely save your life. Plan on evacuating if you have to. Hopefully you never have to. If you don't have this plan, you don't have a plan put in place, you're going to be running around trying to figure out what to do, where to go, and it's going to be a big mess, and more than likely it could cost you a lot, including possibly your life or the life of your children, your wife, your husband. You don't want that to happen. You want to have these plans already in place. You want to be able to do everything like this. You want to work it out, go through it. You want to practice it in the middle of the night, middle of the day. Know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And hopefully, you'll be safe. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore Miner, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.